All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Faces of Business. I am Damon Pasulka, your host, and I am excited for our guest today because we've got Brett Barlow here today from Everee, and we are going to be talking about making it easy to pay employees faster. Brett, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. Well, this is an exciting topic. I really think this is timely in the fact that we have so many people that are having trouble with retention. We'll talk about that for a minute. And it's applying technology in a place that probably needs it.
Yeah, I don't think payroll has really been innovated for 50 years. I don't know. There's some really large players out there that do a fair job. They're just maybe not focused on disruption or changing the status quo. Things are working as they are for them. And we've set out just to do the opposite, where some of the bigger players kind of hold on to your money. If you're paid on the 15th, you have to submit payroll, say on the 12th or the 13th. And one of the dirty kept little secrets is that those payroll companies are making money off of that float.
Yes.
So there's interest income, interest revenue that they're accruing by holding on to your money. So we're just the opposite. We don't want to hold on to anybody's money. We want to get it in people's pockets as soon as they've earned it.
That I am going to write that down because we will talk about that a little bit more. So, Brett, tell us a little bit about your background. Let's start there. Let's see how does someone decide to co-found a company that helps to pay people faster, and what led up to that? I mean, obviously, a lot before that got you to that point.
Well, from a youngster, I always just wanted to innovate in payroll since I was 8 years old. No, it wasn't that simple. There was a different path that I took. I've been, my 25 plus years in go-to-market product kind of led organizations, specifically in marketing roles. I've done a lot of kind of technology, also consumer brand businesses. About 15 years ago, I joined a headphone brand called Skull Candy.
Yep.
Ran their digital marketing there, and the person who ran finance, a gentleman by the name of Ron Ross, whose idea Everee was, worked there. And so we became fast friends, trusted each other, took that company public, and ended up being one of the most shorted stocks on NASDAQ. So if you can imagine the type of pressure that puts on an executive team, you really find out who your people are when the chips are down. And it's hard. So we went through a lot of good times, but also some really challenging times. And so when he approached me almost 4 years ago about trying to help with this business, we met in a fast food restaurant. It was a napkin. He was drawing I've got this idea. He'd been kind of mulling over it for 2 years before he even talked to me and seeing if it was a possibility. And I was like, yeah, that's fascinating to me. Fast pay. I'd never considered that. But when I think back on my own life, being a young married person, 2 kids, both of me and my wife were working, and at times, having trouble making ends meet, or making it 2 or 3 days till the Friday or the Friday when you get paid. And when you have those moments, you think to yourself, oh man, do I need to lean on a credit card, or oh my goodness, is a payday loan something that we have to do for, I hope that's not the case, but in those moments, financial stress can really create a burden. So it resonated with me, what he was sharing with me. And we set out to do that. We built a payroll platform that is full featured. And we initially started with targeting kind of hourly workers, think restaurants, construction, things like that. And although we can serve those verticals, over the last 2 years, where we felt a pull in the market is over to 1099 or contingent workforces that really value that fast pay.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't want to give the pandemic credit really for anything, but in an output of the pandemic was an increase in contingent work. People were having no contact. They were having things delivered to their home and so forth. And the whole fundamental how I work in America think probably across the globe, has changed. People
Yeah.
value flexibility. They expect to be paid when they've earned the wages, and they have a lot of choices out there. So businesses really need to focus on how do they recruit and retain people. And what we found is that paying employees fast is a real incredible retention tool. In fact, to the tune of increasing by 30% retention rates in businesses when you pay people faster. Wow. The Harris poll just created a poll this last year, and they said that 80% of workers would make a job decision or influence a job decision based on the frequency of pay. So it's a big thing. And then 90% of businesses are at the same time reporting that it is really challenging to find employees and keep them. So there's just this kind of new age in the world that we're experiencing. We're in a real point of transition in our country and in other places in the workforce environment. So we think that this fits really nicely with the needs of the American worker.
Yeah. So in your clients that have done this, what are some of the things that they're talking about as they they have these options to pay people faster? What experiences do they have with it?
Well, one, it's become the expectation of workers with the common usage of Venmo and Zelle and PayPal, et cetera. It's just really the expectation. So if you don't, it's a surprise.
Yeah.
More. Now, this isn't for everyone, right? If we're talking higher salaried wage earners, this may not be as appealing to them. They may not be as vulnerable to kind of financial stresses. But there is a gigantic portion of the American workforce that is working, as I mentioned before, paycheck to paycheck, but they're embracing this gig economy. They like the flexibility, they like the freedom of setting their schedules, but they also have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the average gig worker will work 2 to 3 different companies and just kind of rotate depending on their schedule. So if you have that competition and you're not offering at the very least what your competitors are, that's a deterrent in your hiring. So when we started the business, it was same day ACH. And what we've moved to now is, and that was through card or the banking networks. What we've now launched is instant pay through the card network. So not necessarily sign up for our card, although we do have an Everee pay card where we can put money. You could just sign up with the card that's in your wallet currently, and that allows us to pay 365 days a year within minutes of a job being completed.
Yeah, that's really something when you bring the banking or the payment transaction from an employer to 365 days a year.
Yeah, imagine that you are someone who does, say, snow removal in the wintertime in Minneapolis, and there's a huge storm on Christmas Eve. You have to plow the Walmart parking lot or the local grocery store or something like that. You're away from your family, but as soon as you're done, you click on a button and you're paid for the work.
Yeah.
It really harkens back to a time when, that makes me feel maybe a little bit older for using that word. But, when I was younger, I had a lot of different jobs. And I remember, quite vividly, one of my consistent summer jobs was mowing my lawn and my grandparents' lawn and, other neighbors around. And at the end of the day, or at least at the end of the job, when I was done at my grandfather's house, he'd give me a $10 bill and a bottle of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And that was my payment. I did the work, I was paid, and there's just really no reason why we shouldn't do that. It's become complex with insurance and taxes, and it's just kind of, I suppose, easier where people have felt like is easier, but we built all of that into our platform and take care of that. So it's operationally not any more difficult to pay frequently or daily than it is every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So as you've been building this, what are some of the things that cropped up as challenges that you didn't realize that were just like, this is some of those things that we're going to have to think about a bit to get around?
Yeah. So payroll, I think, is probably the largest industry. or one of. I mean, every company that has employees has payroll.
Yeah, yeah.
And so at first glance, that feels massive. What a huge opportunity. The total addressable market is, hundreds of billions. And if we started out with, well, this is good for any small business. Well, if you're marketing to everyone or selling to everyone, you're not really selling to anyone.
Yes.
So one of our challenges is getting really precise in where does our product fit? Where is there a need, and how do we fit with that need to bring consistency to our revenue?
Yeah.
And also better deploy product features that are more focused. So not too long ago, we went from the kind of across the board small business hourly worker profile to very specific verticals that we're going after, and understanding and building for those verticals: delivery, gig labor marketplaces, staffing, even door-to-door sales where people are expecting their commissions to be paid sooner, things like that. And even with those verticals, I call that trimmed down. They're large industries, right? There's millions of people there.
Yeah, they are. And that's really interesting because you said delivery. I mean, in the last mile delivery services, that could be a huge market just because of the way that works. I mean, when you look at, over the years, we've done a lot of work with people that are selling millions and millions of dollars through Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to one of those Amazon fulfillment centers and you see how many people in their cars are rolling up there and grabbing product that get delivered that way, you can imagine how this could be very beneficial for this company.
You nailed it. Last mile delivery. When you order something from Walmart isn't delivering it to you.
Yes.
There's a third party that they've contracted with that has drivers. They're branded Walmart. They're partners, but they're not employees of Walmart. So that's a massive example of Walmart, but Amazon's the same, FedEx.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, last mile delivery is absolutely something that we focus on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not changing anytime soon. So
no, it's increasing. I think that the gig worker population will grow by 30 million over the next year and a half, like 30 million workers.
Wow.
Join kind of that gig economy in some way, creator economy, gig economy, what have you. But again, I think the makeup of what people are looking for in employment is it's just fundamentally shifted for a large portion of the worker census.
Yeah, because when you think about it, the availability of different kinds of work, more remote work, and like you said, I could be doing something for 3 companies if I can do them all over the globe. Or the US, and I could be getting paid by each one of those as I finish projects.
Sure, you could be on vacation and you could pick up a couple routes if theoretically, if you wanted to just earn money for an evening out.
Yeah. Good stuff. So when people are doing this, there's a lot. I mean, this is a big change when you think about going into a business and, hey, if I'm paying 1099 kind of people, it's a normal a check run that they're doing, or if I'm paying workers on a 2-week schedule or whatever schedule, this is a lot of change for them to have to think about.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that the people implementing this have? I shouldn't say challenges, but what are some of the things that they have to think about so they before they go ahead and do this?
Yeah, well, this goes a bit back to the product market fit that I was alluding to earlier. Not all businesses, CFOs, controllers, payroll admins are looking to disrupt the status quo. They're like, hey, nobody's asking for this.
And they don't care about
the fine. Like, they're fine until somebody starts pounding on their door. So there's certainly a large swath of companies that they may not be interested in this, or it may not work for them. So what we need to find in our job is to find businesses with workers that need it. that are asking for it and are expecting it. And so that has allowed us to get to a point where they're coming to us saying, our workers, our drivers are kicking down our door wondering why we don't do this. Can we do it together? And we say, sure. If you have a platform, we can white label an SSO over to our platform. We have embeddable components from our app that can be embedded in other people's apps. So the user experience of the worker is the same, right? They're onboarding, but they're onboarding with us kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we also are just standalone. So we just have a standalone platform. So multiple delivery mechanisms for the way that our technology can connect and deliver multiple different fast pay options. But kind of the secret sauce, I'm on a podcast with you telling you about it, so I'm not sure that it's secret. But something that is innovative that we've done is we really don't want to change the workflow, the cash flow, the operations of the companies that we're working with. So one of the pushbacks we get is, well, running payroll every day would just be ridiculous. That's too hard. That would take too much time. So for companies that are approved by us, we offer them what we call Everee credit, and we actually pay their workers as fast as they want to for hours or jobs that have been approved. And then they settle up with us on their regular payroll cycle. So actually nothing changes for them. They have a bi-weekly or semi-monthly, and we take care of the payments in between there. Yeah. So that's one of the things that helps power fast pay. It doesn't have to have that for fast pay, but it's something unique that we offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would make that a no-brainer for them if their employees are wanting it.
Well, sure. And it provides them with the ability to deploy that capital that they would use on payroll in different ways during those weeks, rather than locking it up on payroll. And it helps the employee, because employees are essentially giving companies an interest-free labor loan for 2 weeks.
Yes.
They're not being compensated for the work that they're doing. They're being paid kind of in arrears for work that they've done. So we believe that, getting people their money faster, it actually makes them better employees. As an example, 68% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Okay. Wow. So you're an employer. Essentially 7 out of 10 of your workers are in one way or another stressed or worried, at least thinking about some type of financial challenge that they're having. Outside of that comes these larger industries that are somewhat predatory to that. Specifically, payday loans are incredibly predatory, but you also have bank overdraft fees, and you have high credit cards, We have 12 million American workers that are using right now payday loans. 12 million, and it averaged 390% APR. So when I say that the payroll system is broken, it's just not working. For the people that are providing serves. It's
they need it the most.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because you think about this, if you have the option, even if you're not using it, but you have the option and you run into a challenge, you go, oh, hey, I need some money. I'm going to get paid today or tomorrow, instead of waiting until Friday when it normally comes on or whatever. That's a big deal, because the alternative is going and getting a payday loan if it's an immediate absolute need, and then what do you pay for that? Like you said, 390% APR. That's good.
In our state, it's actually legal to charge 1,000% interest on a payday.
Wow.
So that's criminal. What we believe, in my opinion, that's
a
little harsh, but it feels predatory. And what we
just back up on that for a second.
Okay.
Who the heck are we doing that to?
Yeah, the people that are in the toughest financial bind.
Yeah.
But
anyway, sorry,
so forth. Yeah, it's hard to take. And if I had a secondary mission of the company, it would be to put those types of businesses out of business. What we've also found, is that being paid daily provides a different level of appreciation to the worker for the dollars that they've earned. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're working and being paid Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Friday comes and you really want that big screen TV, you're going to bring that home, or maybe it's something your dishwasher broke or something like that. You're thinking to yourself, okay, is that TV worth all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Or should I hold off on that and maybe kind of give it a second thought?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point too, because you get money in different smaller amounts more frequently would really limit the you're not going to get the whatever $1,000 in your pocket and go, oh, I'm just going to go pop a TV on it because it's, that's $500. I got $500 less.
Yeah.
You're going to see that coming in and going out a little differently.
Yeah. It provides a view into maybe more micro control of your own finances.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great point. Two great points. I mean, the payday loan thing, awesome. But helping by getting paid every day. I mean, we were just talking about this with a client in a bonus structure. It's like they used to pay bonus on every 6 months, and it's like that really doesn't do you any good because you just don't feel it, right? And same thing with pay. If you could get paid like you guys offer, where you pay every day, or if sometimes even instantly, that's a huge psychological difference.
Yeah. I mean, if you're managing a sales team, so for example, door-to-door sales, say you're selling solar panels. Mm-hmm. It's hot, you're in Texas, you're working your tail off out there and you close a deal. You've got the paperwork done, you've done your part, there's nothing else you can do, it has to be installed. But say installations are out a month to 6 weeks. Once those are installed, then they get paid for that.
Yeah.
So we have businesses where we underwrite that and use the contract as kind of collateral, I suppose, in a way. And we paid their door-to-door workers immediately after they signed the contract.
Yeah.
And that gets them motivated to go to the next door, right?
Yeah.
To keep selling. You can end up having, if you're working as a summer job, for example, and you get paid 3 times in a summer, if it's on 6 week or 4-week cycles. So the motivation you get and the gratification of receiving dollars for the work that you've done really helps, in my opinion, motivate workers to get after it. It's they're seeing the fruits of their labors.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Sure.
It's just fair to do that. It's a fair way to go about compensating people, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah. So what are the things that you're excited for this year? I mean, we're only through just getting into the end of the first quarter. What things in 2023 are you looking forward to or excited about with Everee?
Well, I'm hoping that inflation gets a little bit under control, and I would love for the Fed to quit increasing interest rates. But other than that, what I'm looking for, I mentioned some of our technical capabilities that we have. We are launching our own card program. Yeah. So we'll have an Everee debit card it's a Visa card. And we're a program manager for that. So we'll have our own card that we can put people's, we can distribute pay on for the underbanked. Some people don't even have bank accounts. So in a card that opens up certain things for us. And we're also working to have our platform with various components fully embeddable into other people's platforms. So think about moving from maybe a standalone platform, which we were started with, into a vertical SaaS environment where there's maybe a landscaping CRM tool and they just want to add a revenue stream or some sort of service to their customers. We can either white label that or we'll be able to fully embed our product into their platform. So we're excited about those innovations.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool as heck. That's cool as heck because then they're using one application and they can, do the work in the application, get paid all at once.
Sure. Say they have time clock and scheduling within their app, but they can't correlate that into a distribution of funds. You plug us in, then you have the full view of what you've earned, what you're going to earn, and then be able to pay them. So I think it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that really is. It really is. Good stuff. Well, Brett, it's been awesome having you on today, talking about, making it easy to pay employees faster and Everee and how you guys are doing it. What's a great way for somebody to reach out to you if they're more interested in your platform, in helping people get paid faster?
Sure. So the name of the company is Everee, EVEREE.com is our website. Again, my name is Brett Barlow. I'm the CEO of Everee, and I'm on LinkedIn, but I can also be reached at brett.barlow@everee.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Brett, thanks for being here today. It was great talking to you about this. And thanks everyone for listening out there. And we will be back again next week on the Faces of Business. But if you didn't hear all the things that we were talking about, helping people eliminate payday loans, getting their money on a daily or even instant basis for like delivery drivers, gig workers, and door-to-door sales, get back in this video and listen to it. Check Brett out, check Everee out, and give it a look. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll talk with you later. Hang out, Brett, for a moment, and we'll talk after.
Will do.